Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Here again, we are back with our hot orbit. Just, I think people have become bored with listening hot orbit, but we will try our best to do justice to the viewers. We have with us distinguished speakers, Dr. Anirban Bhaduri, Dr. Joyita Das, Dr. Navanita Borua, and Dr. Purban Ganguly. So in this discussion, we'll discuss about what are the different causes of hot orbit. Each speaker will talk about one such topic, like a vascular, then tumor, like this. So without wasting much time.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Please
Yes.
put the slides on slide mode.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It is okay, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So what should be the approach? What is hot orbit and what should be the approach to a case of hot orbit? But be careful, avoid being in a hot soup while you are managing a case of hot orbit. These are my outlines of talks. So hot orbit means, what is hot orbit? It means inflammation of orbit. It can be infective or non-infective. The symptoms are usually the patient present with severe pain, redness, proptosis, restricted ocular motility, and visual impairment and diplopia. So let's see what are the causes of hot orbit. It could be infective. Infection may be bacteria, maybe fungus, or maybe an hydatid cyst or cysticercosis. Or it could be non-infective, like a non-specific orbital disease, or it could be autoimmune, like thyroid eye disease, or sometimes a tumor can also present like this. Then coming to what are the, this was the, look at this picture. This is a patient who presented with hot orbit. 8-year smell with pain, redness, fever, and all this chemosis, restricted ocular motility. And we started in the line of orbital cellulitis. The patient was investigated in general orbital cellulitis line with the broad spectrum antibiotic treatment was given. This was the CCT and the MRI pictures showing there is an lesion, heterogeneous lesion involving the lateral rectus of the left eye and the lacrimal gland. So what we plan is that it was a firm swelling, we did an aspiration, and there was thick pus discharge. So we changed our antibiotic regime, and this time we again add linezolide instead of vancomycin. And metrozil already the patient was on. And also we saw that this was as a MRSA. MRSA was found, so that's why the most of the antibiotic was actually the patient was resistant. And see, after 2 days, the patient improved. This was a patient who came with history of fall on ground. PL was negative at presentation. On the very first hour, we removed this wooden foreign body. Patient, there was a picture of panophthalmitis with orbital cellulitis. First time the radiologist told that it was an air pocket in the CT picture. Then we went for an MRI as the orbital cellulitis was actually not improving. So this time again, they said that the MRI picture air pocket. But this time we went ahead for an orbitotomy and another foreign body we took out. At 2 weeks, this was the picture. This is a 29-year boy, not boy, gentleman. He came with this picture, extraocular movement restricted. And you can see that there is an band sinusitis with orbital invasion, the infection. And as the patient was not improving with IV ceftriaxone metronidazole, hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
the patient, the ENT people asked that start IV dexamethasone, and they did, and face there was drainage of pus was done. No fungal element was found in that pus. This was the picture at the end of 1 week. So this is a case of rhinoorbital cellulitis. Coming to case 4, this patient was referred from medicine ward actually with a history of fever. First day picture was this, restricted ocular motility, especially laterally. Next day, the other eye was also involved. Patient was running a fever. As you can see in both eyes, the superior ophthalmic vein was prominent. So we diagnosed it as cavernous sinus thrombosis, and patient was referred back to the medicine ward. This is another patient, came with a picture of, again, the hot orbit. Initially, we thought it could be a case of thyroid, but thyroid profile was absolutely normal, and the single muscle was involved. High dose oral steroid worked dramatically. So this was a case of non-specific inflammatory disease. This was a doctor by profession. This gentleman, he came with 2 days history of pain, swelling, posterior ocular motility. And in USG, you can see there is an cystic lesion with an hyperechoic spot. But MRI make it clear this is a case of myocystic sarcosis involving the superior muscle complex, the superior rectus and superior oblique, both are. So oral albendazole and oral corticosteroid was given, albendazole for 1 month and corticosteroid for 3 months in tapering doses. This was in a lady, came with bilateral hot orbit. Along with that, the patient has conjunctivitis, episcleritis, peripheral ulcerative keratitis, bilateral lacrimal gland enlargement, and submandibular lymphadenopathy. So we diagnosed it clinically as a case of generalized polyarteritis. You can see the picture, all the muscles are involved, the lacrimal gland is involved, but mucosal thickening in the sinuses was very less. We did ENT consultation, all the routine investigation, ANCA, PIANCA, everything was done. Lacrimal gland biopsy was done, but everything was inconclusive. So the diagnosis is still, we are waiting for the diagnosis, but it goes in favor of a generalized polyarteritis. ANCA and PIANCA, actually, it may be negative in 20% of the cases of oceanous granulomatosis. It could be negative also as per literature. This was an 17 years female. She actually presented to us when an epidemic of conjunctivitis was going. So somebody diagnosed it as a case of conjunctivitis, acute conjunctivitis, as the condition was not improving much. So that's why she visited us. There was restriction of ocular motility and it was very pain. And on routine fundoscopy, we found there was this disc edema. And then we went for this MRI. There was enhancing the sheath of the optic nerve. And as you can see in the USG, there is typical picture of this T sign, posterior scleritis. That means, and we did on the investigations and started the 60 milligram oral prednisolone with tapering dose, and the patient did miracle. So how to approach the history? the local examination of the eye, the systemic examination, and the tailored investigations, and then the imaging studies. The history is important, like what is the duration, whether it is an acute orbit, that is dimness of vision, double vision, headache, malaise, fever, history of diabetes, thyroid, these are routine things, HIV, whether the patient is immunocompromised, age. There are some conditions which are specific for younger and specific for elderly age group, like a case of orbital cellulitis. This is more common in younger age group because more they are susceptible to sinusitis than in elderly age group. The retinoblastoma is seen in younger age group. Then this pseudotumor may be seen in both the younger and the adult age group. In younger age group, bilateral pseudotumor is more common than the younger. And thyroid is seen in the elderly age group. Mucormycosis, this was the unilateral, some are unilateral, some are bilateral. So from the beginning only, you can have some idea what could be your case. History of trauma, if present, be careful that some element, foreign body is left in the orbit. And dimness of vision, if it is involved in the optic nerve, optic neuritis, or because of the disc edema, like compression, or if it has involved the superior orbital fissure, then dimness of vision is seen much earlier than in other cases. Visual acuity diminished. If the visual acuity is diminished, you have to do your management very fast, urgent basis. Axial or non-axial, that will give you a clue what you are dealing actually. Axial intraconal lesion like orbital cellulitis is usually axial. Then RB and metastasis, these are usually axial. Non-axial proptosis and extraconal lesions, subperiosteal abscess, rhabdomyosarcoma, lymphangioma. A role of imaging is always there. CT is a low cost and relatively faster speed of and MRI may not be available everywhere. So CT can be tried fast. A contrast CT will give you much idea. Then,
ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, but
this is I am at the end of my discussion. This is the flow chart, history taking, thorough ocular examination, investigation, routine blood, microbiology, imaging. If it is infectious, then empirical start fast. Then HA-MRSA, then Vancoal linezolide. If it is CA-MRSA, rifampicin and clindamycin. If there is surgery may be needed in case of abscess, subperiosteal, abscess of foreign body removal, surgery is needed. If it is vasculitis, do the CRP, ANCA and PIANCA, then start steroid and immunosuppressive agent. If it is tumor, do biopsy, then accordingly chemotherapy, radiotherapy or surgery. If it is non-specific inflammatory disease, after the routine test, you go for the steroid treatment or immunomodulator drugs. So what are the red flags? If there is change in visual acuity, pupil non-reacting RAPD, extraocular muscle restriction, and proptosis, then you have to admit the patient and do the management early. Thank you. I'm sorry for taking extra